what's up, y'all? In my previous video, I talked about reasons not to get into trucking, and this is a continuance of that one. But I left something out of that video, and I don't think anybody noticed it. Really, I didn't notice it until I reviewed it, but check it out. 2. 3. 4. 6.
Go ahead. Make fun of me. I'm just a stupid millennial who doesn't know how to count and drives a truck.
So as you can see, I skipped reason number 5. And that's the reason I'm going to start with in this video and then skip to 7. Because I'm a genius like that. Before we continue with the video, if you like this content, please consider hitting like, share, and subscribe. Comment if you like. Ring the notifications bell so that every time I upload a video, you can be the first to see it. Reason number 5. The law holds you so much more accountable than if you were to drive in a regular car. You are legally a professional driver. Therefore, the charges on tickets go up. Strikes on your driving record stay longer and affect you more. I was driving in New Mexico one time and I got pulled over for doing 6 over the speed limit, going downhill on a steep hill. And there were cars going around me, going much faster than me, my speed and faster. And there were police officers waiting right there in the middle of that steep hill, and they were targeting trucks. I'm not sure I've ever seen, myself, I don't think I've ever seen a car being pulled over in New Mexico. Not saying that they don't pull them over, but I always see trucks, and New Mexico press hard on trucks because that's what gets them the most money. But he gave me a warning, a written warning, which is worse than a ticket, because a warning cannot be taken off your record because it's warning. A ticket, you can get a lawyer and get it off your record. You might think that spending more money on a lawyer than what the ticket's worth would be a waste of time, but no, it's not, because you have something called a DAC report. It is your driving record as a truck driver. That is your report. And if you rack up so many points on your report, you can get your license suspended. Depending on the charge, you could have it taken away altogether. That is something that, you see on Smokey and the Bandit, where the DOT officers or the law enforcement are harder on the truck drivers and call them boy and degrading stuff like that. They don't do that, but they are harder on truck drivers. I don't know if that's what they did back then, but today they'll just act snooty towards you, and they're more harsh. Reason number 7. When you are out there on the road, you are basically without a paddle. You are relying on dispatch to do you right. And dispatch doesn't always do you right. They do what is good for the company. They're not necessarily looking out for you. There are some dispatchers that are more considerate of their drivers than others, but for the most part, it is the dispatcher's job to dispatch you on a load and to do what will benefit the company, not necessarily you. They might act buddy with you, but let's just keep it real. They don't know you and you don't know them. They can give you all kinds of compliments, but what it all comes down to is you are working for the company and they are there to further the company. They give you what is good for the company to move that freight. Now, I'm not saying that it's bad to be buddy-buddy with your dispatcher. You really want to be buddy-buddy with your dispatcher because you want that dispatcher to favor you, not give you the crappiest loads that the dispatcher can find. You want them to give you regular to good loads, but all loads are not there to further you. They're there to further the company, and it's the dispatcher's discretion and the planner to put you on a load that they think that you can do. Reason number 8. If you are not good with time management, you probably should not get into trucking, because trucking is all based around time management. You have 4 clocks. You have your 70-hour clock, your 14-hour clock, your 11-hour clock, and your 8-hour clock. Your 70-hour clock is the amount of hours that you can work in a week. 70 hours. Your 14-hour clock is the amount of time that you can be available in a single day on duty or off duty after your clock has already started. Your 11-hour clock is the amount of time that you can drive in a single day. And your 8-hour clock is the amount of hours that you can drive before you have a mandated 30-minute break. So you have to plan all your stops. You have to plan where you're going to take your 30. You got to plan where you're going to stop for the night. You got to plan where you're going to fuel. And if you don't plan, you're just banking on just coming up on a fueling station to fuel at. Or you're just banking on there just being a truck stop right there whenever you run out of time. You have to plan these things. And if you're not good with time management, you probably shouldn't get into trucking. The good thing is it can be taught. But once you're in it and you find out that you're not good at time management, that's time wasted. But if you're able to learn, more power to you. Reason number 9. Trucking is not a get-rich-quick job. It's not a get-rich-quick industry for the drivers. More so for the company you're driving for. But it's set up that way. You're employed to make them money. That's the way any job works. But don't look at those figures and say, oh, I can make $1,000 a week. You know, and then start doing these calculations like, oh, but within, you know what? That could be $1,000 gross pay. Or it could be net pay. It could be take home. Either way it goes, you have other expenses in life, and you should learn money management. So what I'm saying is, you can get deeper in the hole if you're already in debt. You can get deeper in the hole. Deeper in the hole financially, physically. You can gain a lot of weight, become very unhealthy. There have been drivers that have died in their truck because of cholesterol levels, clogged arteries. You can physically decline emotionally. You can get in the hole emotionally. Most of these drivers out here, I would say, are introverts, and they drive because they don't like dealing with people. The same people day in and day out. And also, it might be because it pays more than their previous job. At any rate, you can make good money, but just bear in mind, not only financially, but physically, emotionally, socially, you can become socially awkward because you're always in your truck. You're not around a lot of people all the time. You're not. Some people are extroverts, and they love talking to people, making friends, and stuff like that. Most of these drivers out here, they're not interested in making friends. They're, I tried. Maybe if you made a friend who drives for the same company, maybe. That's probably the most likely case. So financially, physically, emotionally, and socially. And I'm sure that there's other ways that you can get in the hole with the trucking industry. Reason number 10. The ads that you see online that say, get into trucking, see the country that you live in, and get paid for it. Well, I just want to be very blunt about that. Seeing the country that you live in, being able to travel in the lower 48 states, it is just like the cherry on top. What you got below the cherry is the whipped cream and the ice cream and the bowl, and the ice cream and the whipped cream. That's the job. You get paid to move freight, period. That is your number one prerogative. That's your mission while you're out here, is to move freight. It's not to see Washington State to Florida, from Maine to California. That's not the meaning of it. The meaning is to move freight. Period. And it sounds really enticing, but let me remind you, it is a dangerous job. I don't care what anybody says. Trucking is a dangerous job. It's not like you come from your hometown and you can trust people, or maybe you don't trust people. You might be better off if you already don't trust people. Most drivers out here, they're looking out for numero uno. But really, who can you trust out here? Like, I'm from Texas. I'm from a small town in Texas. And I could almost trust everybody because I knew everybody. But I went from Texas to Oregon to North Carolina, West Virginia, and New Jersey, Illinois, Pennsylvania, New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada. Here's what I'm trying to say, is that the rest of the country is not like where you are. So just keep that in mind, that your job is not to see the country. Your job is to drive one of these semis and pull a 53-foot trailer full of freight. That's the job. You gotta learn the laws. You gotta learn the business. In the next part of the series, I'll be talking about reasons to get into trucking. Anyways, y'all take it easy, be safe, keep the shiny side up and the rubber side down. Peace. if you like this content, please consider hitting like, share, and subscribe. Comment if you like. Ring the notifications bell so that every time I upload a video, you can be the first to see it.
Go ahead. Make fun of me. I'm just a stupid millennial who doesn't know how to count and drives a truck.